Pedagogy Iceland. This project I've been working on for a year now, and it finally happened. I mean, the first pilot workshop for teachers finally happened last week, and I'm really happy to be able to share this to you. So just a little bit of the workshop that just happened or just finished, which is I'm really happy with the outcome, and I hear a lot of people asking if we're going to do it again. So it's a workshop for teachers who works in private school, public schools, in a very conventional schools. It's designed using permaculture principles along with the Ecovillage principles, where I'm coming from, and giving teachers a chance to think outside their conventional teaching approach, encouraging teachers to use more holistic way of teaching, and giving us starting tools to enable them to start. So it looks like a lot, but yeah, this has been a 1-year process of trying to figure out how to do it. Just a little bit of myself, just to like tell you where I'm coming from. So our family of 4 lived in Solheim or Ecovillage for 6 years. We have a really big background of Steiner, Waldorf in Solheim. Jonas, my husband, is an operation manager of the companies, which is the economy part of the village. I work as a project manager as an eco center, the educational part of the. So Solheimar is another story to tell. That's a big story to tell. So leaving Ecovillage and living in Ecovillage principles. It's just this. You mentioned, I think it was mentioned earlier, that you can never really leave Ecovillage. You leave, but you will be leaving the principle with you all the time. So this is our case, and why we left Ecovillage is it's just also because there's the school is really small, and my daughter started gymnastics, and we were driving a lot to the next town, and it just didn't make any sense at all. It's just like, so we decided to move out, and we felt a need of change as well. So we moved out January 2020 after big, preparation. And I started, luckily I got a job in a preschool, which is a green preschool, as a head teacher. So having that in my hand was a privilege. While my husband is worked on our new company, Adventures for Students, dedicating for youth activities all over Iceland and also in UK. So we work on applying our knowledge and principle that we learned from living in Ecovillage. This is just a little bit of where we're coming from. So for teachers, we also have other projects, but this is one of the projects I'm really passionate about. So why teachers? So during the process of creating our programs, we thought, why not create something that empowers more teachers? Because we empower youth. So why don't we just create more of us to do that? So the teachers, they have freedom to choose materials. They just have to base their materials based on their curriculum, the national curriculum. They foster a lot of things in children. So they're the key. They're the key. So why not approach them? So we began. Well, it was a lot of like, how do I do it? What kind of things do I do? So I'm a pedagogist. This is the box. So how can you put this box and mix it with the permaculture and this? And after a lot of meeting with my co-teacher, she's a permaculturist who's really passionate about permaculture. And then I go like, no, but we have this. And then we go like, no, we have this. So we go on and on, back and forth. And finally we managed to put something together. So her name is Hildur. And this is our very first, we work with the national, we got a lot of companies supporting us, and also the National Environmental Agency of Iceland working with us. So after a lot of meeting and going and presenting, we finally did it. Ecology and pedagogy. So the workshop. I just want to give you, I wonder if I will be able to, this really short clip, just to give you a sense of what happened last week. Let me know if you can hear it. Hear it?
Everything you need.
We hear, but we don't see.
Is right in front of you.
Oh no, wait. Oh no. Okay. I wonder.
Maybe your share screen is just in the PowerPoint.
Yes. Okay.
When you learn to
I'm just gonna close that one. So when I, okay, let's just share.
I stop your share and then maybe share again, and you can share into a different window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Screen, then share. And then can you see my screen now with lots of things going up? Yeah, let's try to find my office. Okay. Okay, let's try to find. There you go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see now?
Perfect. Yeah.
Everything you need is right in front of you, front of you. When you learn to see, good things come to you. All you have to do is stop and take a look around. Before you intervene, don't do anything, anything. Just come to all your senses. They'll tell you everything. First you have to learn to stop and take a look around.
Okay, so stop sharing that and then I'll share the PowerPoint again. There you go. So that would happen, and I'm still like trying to recover from that. So what happened is just it was a great program, and we have 2.5 days of intense working. And what did I share to them? I basically shared, because I had the power for 1 year to change my classroom. I had the power to use these principles that I know to inside my classroom. So for me, as a teacher, I wanted to share, like, you know, finding their ecological identity. I think someone spoke earlier that, you know, without the connection to your ecology, to your nature, you will lose the connection and just basically ending up destroying it. But if you have the connection from the childhood, then you will love your nature. You will love, you know, your surroundings. So this is what I wanted the teachers to integrate into their everyday school, everyday. So this is my children. I have 39 kids. Well, we're 120, but I have 6 staff. So these are the 5-year-old kids. We have 1.5-year-old up to 6 years old. They're actually 6 now. They're graduating from the kindergarten. We basically live outside in Iceland. This, you can see, you know, when I see the picture, I realize like everybody's flip-flops, you know, and we have to dress a lot, but we still could use the nature. And it's just so amazing that I'm privileged to experiment, if I may say, experimenting the Ecovillage principle and the permaculture principle inside my classroom. Just want to show you. And I just shared them my experience about doing my Samberstund Hopastar. It's a circle time, and my Hopastar is a group work. You can actually do it outside. This is just one of the class that I do every day with my kids. Actually, I don't do it. Sorry, the staff is doing it. The other teachers are doing it. I am there to tell them or like show them what to do, but it's working really well. Our team is great. They know, and of course I go them. It took me 1 year or like say 3 months to convince my colleagues to be doing this. So we do every day we go and we do our circle time, our work, you know, our singing outside. Of course, when it's really bad weather, we are inside. But then most of the time, you know, it's not bad. We just dress up really well. This is just example. I showed the teachers the courses. What can they do outside? You know, discussion about the natural experience in nature instead of having it on board, like conventional. Who've been to a conventional school? You can see a board of like, here's the animal, here's the sound. You can actually just go out and, you know, experience it based on the seasonal. So they can design their curriculum, their project based on the weather outside. And it's a lot of, there's a lot of things you can integrate while doing it. Like, just like here, well, we have the motor skill, muscle tone, you know, they're doing a lot of things here without being in a conventional playground. So we just walk like 10 minutes. There's a small forest, well, woods. There's no forest in Iceland, just woods. And we go there and I let children play. And I spoke with a municipality, and of course we could use some of the toilets there, and we had the key. So connecting with the municipality and with you know, the neighborhood is really important for me. It's really nice. I do this every day. So when there's the snow and there's really, you know, we skate outside in the pond. We find every single nature we can find outside. We walk 20 minutes, 30 minutes. On summertime, we would walk 1 hour to the cave or whatever, you know, just our neighboring area. Luckily, we live in Iceland and there's so much nature. This is just, we were just talking about the fish, you know, we're in some country you can fish and you can dug. And this is just like trying to teach them how to do it. But of course, there's no fish in there. It's just some little snail. And also, I shared, or like part of the course or the workshop that we did is the redesigning your classroom. How are you redesigning it using permaculture principles and global Ecovillage principles? The global Ecovillage, I went to training for that, and I use the cards. If you're familiar with the cards, yes, I use a lot of that. So I incorporate that into teaching teachers, not teaching children, but the trainers themselves. I didn't even see myself when I took the trainers for trainer that I would be using this the same, like, you know, the dance you saw in the video. If you're familiar with that, I learned it from the workshop, the global Ecovillage workshop. So I could apply these things, and I'm amazed how much they absorb, like teachers. They're really amazing. This is just the green area inside, because you cannot grow vegetables outside Iceland. It's, you know, dark most of the time. So I just shared my experience about setting up a green area of basically the whole classroom of mine is green. So I have wormery, I have bokashi, we have compost outside and inside. I grow a lot of herbs inside where we eat it. The kids take it in, and we just have it. We incorporate it inside the classroom. The school was already green school, but then they needed more green, you know, kind of like more push. And because the principal said you just can do whatever you want, so I took that and did a lot of changes inside the classroom. And it's of course a zero waste classroom, and I hesitate to have buy any plastic product, no printing, try not to have that. It's really difficult to change that, because the public school are very addicted to laminator and the printer, and I don't know what kind of crap they don't have. But it took me a long time for me to even, this is a green school, it's a public green school. It took a long time for me to kind of like, hey, we can actually do this way. And there was a lot of challenge in between. I remember like almost giving up. Like I always like, I'm like, I'm just gonna be a normal teacher. I'm not gonna do this, you know, for low. But you know, I see a lot of change, and now we are gardening outside, and we are setting up a greenhouse. So after 1 year of trying to, not trying, doing this job, I'm seeing more and more. And the other departments, we are 170. There's 170 kids, about 60 staff. In the under me is just 9 teachers. So I have the older ones. So now I did a lot of work. Talk to them, and now all the departments are planting. So they're building the same sort of green area inside the classroom, and they are adapting my wooden calendar and other things. So they are now, after 1 year, moving into that, and I'm really looking forward. And after the course, after this workshop is done, there's even more. after I came back. And so that was, the workshop was last week. Then I came back on Monday and they're like, hey, what can we do next? So they were so excited. They were so proud that one of their teachers was actually holding up a workshop. And of course, this is just the little ones, show them like how this is how you can create a really nice cozy area just by a box and some old stuff. This is just what I shared in the workshop, and some people. So social and culture, if I think about the social and the culture aspect, if try to integrate or like mirror, for me, I think building a social relationship with the teachers, with the conventional different teachers, and building a culture around it using what we know in Ecovillage could be a really good step for us. And we could multiply more, and we can, I mean, we would be doing more to tackle all these challenges that we have right now. This is me trying to convince everyone that this is the best way to do it. Let's do it, you know. No, this is just a night where we do at night a storytelling. I was telling them a story in the Philippines where there's this island that died because of dynamite fishing. But and I asked them to share their story. How did they remember their childhood and the nature, and how is this affecting them, and so on. So most of these teachers, 10 teachers came from 3 different schools in Reykjavik, in the area, and most of them are head teachers. So I'm hoping for, so at the end of the course, of course, I developed an assessment process, an action plan, and implementing the action plan. So they went home with some tools to follow. And then the continuation, of course, I will hold up another meeting with them just to sort of like, hey, what are you guys doing? Actually, they went home with lots of seeds. They went home with, as you saw that they were building something, they built an inside soil bed, and they went with the soil. We did a sprouting. We went through how you take care of your soil inside. So a lot of practical things, and also a lot of, here we go, action plan or implementation and assessment for themselves. So we created a sort of like guidelines, because the teachers, you cannot really just throw them in the Ecovillage principle. Hey, just do it. But we have to give them a sort of a really good outline of how can they follow up and make changes. And these teachers are ready. They were looking for a change. That's why they came. The course cost a lot, so they must have a lot of passion about it. So, and I thought, if people will come, and of course it costs also to rent a place and stuff like that, but then if people are willing to spend time, spend money, they are ready, they want to. So that's, education is the most powerful tools, and why not give teachers the proper tools? The question.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Margarita. Huge accomplishment. Celebration to you and your team. That's wonderful. I hope we can replicate this around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions from the floor?
Just want to say amazing. Thank you for what you're doing. So important.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a question which you really just answered right as you closed out, was a little bit on language and terminology. And if we say eco-village, you know, some of the mainstream might have a connotation with that, or even permaculture. I've tried to work with schools. School garden is amazing, but a permaculture garden is scary because it's, you know, but it seems like you really got a good target audience and responded to their need, that they need change, that they notice they want something different, and so you responded to that. So that's probably part of your success. But yeah, just curious how you promoted it and how you got them on board, and if that
to be
was
honest,
a barrier, maybe. Yeah,
I didn't use the word permaculture at all, and Ecovillage at all. That was like, when they got there, they got it. You know, it was the National Environmental Agency of Iceland with Adventure for Students. teaching with the teacher from, because my co-teacher is a university teacher as well. So we put up all things that will gather them in. But then we have the sustainability, because they know the word sustainability. They don't know the word regenerative. So we use the words that are familiar with them. That was challenging.
Yeah, I think we hear that also just in Jen's communication is, even though we are trying to move to regenerative practices, but we still have to use the word sustainability because that's more accessible to people. So
Yes.
we adjust. Yeah.
So-
Thanks. Any other questions?